on the pie patch on
Indeed.
3.14. And I am just going to bring up the fact that we do have 4 global bans as well. It's Olaf, Syndra, Sivir, and Heimerdinger, because 2 of them with bugs and the other 2 were just remade. So yeah, they had to do those out. You can hear the cheers from the other side of this menu. If Name locks in that Teemo, then people are going to like lose their mind.
I'll also notice that OMG deciding to go with the Lucian Orianna that we did see from Team World Elite last game. So a little bit of a reversal. No Teemo from the looks of things, unless they want to switch at the last second. And we also got a Thresh and Fiddlesticks from World Elite rounding out their support. Do you think this is going to be a support or jungle Fiddlesticks?
That's like 100% jungle Fiddlesticks. You can't put Thresh anywhere else. And they already got Shyvana for the top lane, so like that could have been the only other place he put them, but not entirely too sure what's going on there. But it does look like we are going to lock in here from Team World Elite. Top lane, Shyvana. Again, very popular pick here in this tournament. The jungle Fiddle, the support Thresh with Ezreal. We've seen that combo again and again. And another Gragas.
Yeah, looks like World Elite wants to steal Ezreal from OMG, seeing as how well he was able to do last game. So lots of actual picks being reversed for both of these teams.
Well, again, like a lot of the same champions are going to be played between both teams. And like there's...
They're both Chinese teams as well.
The Rengar and the Nunu, you could argue, are a little bit more rare, at least here at WCG, because like I got my notebook here. I'm always writing down who's getting picked, who's getting banned here on the Low Plus stream. But only seen one Nunu, and I'm pretty sure I have not seen a Rengar. But I did see a Rengar off on one of the other stages, and I think that was actually CJ and his Blaze that played that Rengar and just absolutely wrecked face.
Maybe OMG wants to take a page out of CJ Blaze's book.
It's a really good book if you're going to take a page out of it.
Absolutely. No, actually, like, don't take a page. Steal the playbook from CJ Blaze.
Yeah, don't take a page. Steal the whole thing.
Steal the whole thing, man. They're in China. It'd be a good time just, sneak into their hotel after the games, grab that book and get some extra strategies for your team. Put yourself a little bit ahead in the meta.
The last picks there, as I just finish off the notes, Lucian Lulu. Lulu is not somebody we've been seeing a lot of here in WCG. In fact, I think the team that played Lulu the most was the Aussies, Team Immunity, who unfortunately didn't make it out of their group stages due to the forfeits from Team Rampage, from Team Japan. But, I mean, they tried their hardest. I mean, they took out at least Team Brazil, took out somebody else. I'm not entirely too sure who they actually had from everything else. We're going to get into this game, guys.
All right, here we go.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here into game number 2, Team World Elite taking on Team OMG here in the semifinals of the 2013 WCG in Kunshan, China. I'm the forecourt jester. With me here, my good friend Whiplash. And we're going to be bringing you all the action here on the League of Legends Plus stream. OMG up 1-0 in very dominating form. And, game number 2, we're going to have to see what what Team World Elite could do against the powerhouse OMG.
I mean, World Elite, they got pretty outplayed when it came to the game number 1. Just OMG was able to completely decimate World to the team fights. They made it almost look easy. But, if they can get some good momentum early on and actually keep that momentum, unlike after, getting the first blood in game number 1, we could see something different. The teams look like they want to get a little bit aggressive towards that mid lane. Some pings from OMG towards the top of their jungle.
It does look like we're setting up here for an invade from World Elite, but there was an early ward in the river. That's why OMG actually really does know where World Elite is right now, and they also see them retreating out as well. So the only advantage here is that we did get that deep ward off towards the red bush up by the second tower in the mid. So they will be able to kind of look for the rotations, see if it's going to be a 2v1 swap. They're going to be able to track out Nunu when he goes back and forth between there. It's like, if he starts from the red, they're going to know. If he starts from the blue and they see him go to the red, then they still know where he is. It's a really good ward to have early on for information. And you can see they also have their bottom lane warded out as well, those jungle entrances. So it looks like World Elite was actually a little bit too scared of an invade.
Yeah, well, a little bit too scared, but, you know, better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Exactly right. Loveland is going to start off with the red, very likely to go down to the blue. And again, we're going to have lane swaps going out. Clear Love in the jungle with Calmite just helping him out with that burning damage from Shyvana. They do know it is going to be the 2v1 swaps, and it's exactly the same setup as we had in game number 1. We're going to be looking for Ezreal and Thresh to not only zone out Rengar, but also take that tower as quick as they can. And that's possibly why Nunu's going to go red to blue and then try to help out this bottom lane.
Oh, all right, so we do have Fiddlesticks just continuing to do his job in the jungle. And actually, Shyvana taking back and a move towards the top lane once again.
She's not even there right now, so you know, very similar starts to last game.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, well, pretty good lane control so far from World Elite in the bottom. Really just, you know, completely zoning out OMG Rengar for the time being.
Now, last time we had Rumble in this bottom lane, right? Up against the Ezreal, and now he has to deal with, you know, Ezreal Thresh. So Rengar doesn't have as many tools to farm as safely.
Oh, nice hook, and they're trying to get a little bit more damage in. Rengar will survive, though.
And it's reasons like this that the 2v1 is going to be so effective against him, because he can't retaliate.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
what are you going to do?
He
He can't retaliate. He's just going to get zoned out. Nunu is down there now, so it's not going to be that 3v1 sandwich that we saw a little bit earlier, those om nom nom first blood sandwiches. But you know, Nunu will be down in the spot lane just to try to help out with the lane pressure, because OMG does not want to lose that early turret again.
All right, and we may have a bit of a rotation. As far as Fiddlesticks, he is moving towards top lane instead of the jungle. And
just like what Nunu's doing down here, you got to help out your solo laners because they can't deal with these pressures.
Indeed. All right, and we're seeing a little bit more support for OMG in the bot lane as this tower, you know, there's a lot of minions here really starting to push. And once again, another pause. Also, I want to notice in the mid lane, same scenario, just different teams for as far as the heroes go. Gragas against that Orianna once again in the mid.
And they're actually farming out extremely even at this point. Something to note, though, is that Shyvana up to 11 creeps, Rengar's at 4. So you can really start zoning them out early and just trying to build up your creep waves in order to push into the tower. But there's nothing you can do, unless you're going to get a 3v1 sandwich going, there's nothing you can do against him just gaining that experience, because the tower's about to kill all the creeps. Yeah. The only advantage you're going to get out of that is that the tower's killing the creeps, but the creeps are also attacking the tower. You're attacking the tower. That's why you can, you know, rush it down by the 5-minute mark.
Yeah.
So doing that early zoning to Rengar, and now he has to farm under turret. It's like he almost still can't farm under turret because of that long-range pressure of Thresh as well as Ezreal. Yeah. And the creeps are starting to reflect that. I mean, Shyvana's up to 11, and he's sitting at 5.
Yeah, exactly. Orianna keeping some good control in the mid lane against this Gragas. Their kills, though, relatively even. As far as the minions go, Orianna with a very slight advantage. And looking at some of these other creep kills here, overall, it looks like Team World Elite just with a bit of an edge over their opponents, but it's still, you know, very early on in the game, not the biggest deal in the world.
Now, we're 4 minutes in. You're going to see these slight variances based upon playstyles and nuances. Going, you know, still eating a little bit of this damage. The good news is that he has some built-in sustain with the Battle Cry, but, you know, repeated plays like that from Visit, repeated Mystic shots, they're going to start taking their toll.
Indeed. All right, Fiddlesticks, he's rotating towards middle lane, and I don't think we have a single ward to stop or spot this. Orianna still playing a little bit risky in the mid lane. Some pings happening towards those brushes, and it looks like Fiddlesticks is going to just, you know, put up a ward or two. And still, he wants to get the gank off. Can he actually get it, Full Court Jester? That's the question.
We got so many pings going down. Like, they know he's there and cool. You know, those spider senses. He's going to get the fear. Flash out. There's the drain as well as the silence, but Messiah just a little bit too far back. Couldn't get off a barrel either. And, you know, they knew he was there, but hey, they got the flash out of Orianna. She won't have it next time, so mission semi-accomplished. They were really hoping for the first blood, though.
Oh, I mean, I guess at least the flash. At least that.
Yeah, so mission semi-accomplished.
All right, Gragas is going to continue fighting them. And actually, if we look towards the top lane, a few pings going off there, wanting to be aggressive. In the bottom lane, you know, despite a lot of aggression, we're not really seeing anything. There's a gank potential being set up in the mid from OMG. Are they going to be able to get it, though?
Well, it looks like Nunu wasn't actually interested in ganking. In fact, he probably just took the Wraiths and left a little one up. It's a little bit of counter jungling you do with the Nunu. Because he has Consume, and it actually deals massive amounts of damage against creeps. Between the Consume, between the Smite, he can actually do some pretty effective counter jungling. So he's going to try to curb the farm of Fiddle. And right now, they don't actually know where Fiddle is, but you can see that it's going to be the gank mid. Fortunately, that explosive cask was a little out of position.
Yeah. They really want it. You can tell. They keep trying to go on this Orianna. She's not having any of it, though.
She has no flash. Why not, right?
Yeah. She's not having any of it. No flash. Top tower getting extremely low. Looks like OMG will indeed take out that turret pretty easily.
It's a little surprising that this bottom is actually as healthy as it is. Wei Xiao and Vizith, I guess they're just really trying to land the damage here on top of Rengar. But Rengar has a little bit of armor under his belt now, so he's going to be okay. Cao Mei, however.
Shyvana has to be really careful moving away, and OMG, they're doing as much damage as possible in this bottom lane. Not necessarily getting the kill, however. They at least have about a 1k gold advantage, though, in this situation. Maybe a little bit less. And we have a lot of heroes in the top lane. They are going to go ahead and port home, potential rotate, maybe trying to push that bottom lane.
That's what I would expect, yeah. And it does look like you are right in that fact. So, you know, once you get that tower, you do the rotation. Rengar can go back up top and farm pretty safe up against Shyvana, because Shyvana does not have a safety net with that tower. Now going to be gone, and Nunu could always come in with the Blood Boil and the slow balls and just start wreaking havoc in that top lane. So the advantage that Shyvana has in 2v1s is the burnout as well as her fireball. It really does put her in a pretty safe farming potential. Again, 41 to 28 for those 2v1 laners. But also later on, like, she doesn't have to deal with mana at all. Yeah. She's totally free cost, doesn't have to worry about mana. Neither does Rengar in this regard. Neither did Rumble or Kennen, if you believe it. You see a theme going for these 2v1 champions.
All right, well, we did have a little bit of jesting around the dragon area, but yeah, I had to use that one. But regardless, just a bit of a counter warding from World Elite. They will at least contest the dragon for now. No one going to go ahead and try to pick them off. I would expect to wait for OMG to get some type of an advantage before going in for the dragon, and of course likewise for World Elite. And a little bit of protection on Lucian.
Now, the only difference between the two teams right now is that OMG has a slight gold lead because they do have that tower.
Yeah.
So the tower puts a little bit of global gold in their pockets, and they do maintain a little bit of cash ahead of World Elite. But this bottom tower is about at half. I don't expect it to go down anytime soon. We don't really see any kind of big aggression coming up from World Elite into this bottom lane. But as I say that, I'm looking at Fiddlesticks. He's probably going to coast through the bottom. That could be a lane gank for the Crowstorm.
Yeah, definitely a possibility as he's moving forward towards there. I am curious to see if we'll see any type of rotation from OMG to help assist in that bot lane. And it looks like we could potentially have a little bit of reinforcements arrive to go ahead and help them out. A bit of damage on Ezreal from Lucian.
That's not what they want. If they are going to have Fiddlesticks come to this lane, you can't really lose too much hit points, because when it comes to that engage...
Oh, wow, actually a ridiculous amount of damage. Ezreal down to half health from Lucian alone, making it look easy. And also a bit of counter warding.
Yep. Now, here's a fun thing for the bottom lane. If it is going to be a Crowstorm, Fiddlesticks could actually start really, really far behind, do the Crowstorm, and take a Lantern Dark Passage gank into it. But there it is.
There we go. All right, Fiddlesticks, you're doing exactly what you said. True shot barrage from Ezreal as well. In the crowd, we can hear them from all the way across the other stadium as they went absolutely wild after that. And Team World Elite getting 2 kills in addition to that first blood. Well, I guess the first blood and an additional kill. And they're going to be able to follow that up with an easy dragon. This may not be such an easy 2-0 as we were expecting.
Well, World Elite is definitely going to take a little bit of the lead in terms of the gold. They were down, now they're going to be up. They added about another 1,000 there for the Dragon. There you go, 1,500 gold into their pocket. Surplus. Cao Mei actually transitioned from the top to the mid here as well, but Loveland was caught out by Messiah, but at the Dragon, had to blow out his flash to avoid the explosive cast. Didn't want to drop 3 kills to World Elite here this early game, but we didn't even need the Lantern in the bottom lane. It was still just like perfect positioning for Clearlove, because he got forward with the Crowstorm and immediately feared the Jessica, or Cao Mei. Not Cao Mei. Actually, I'm not entirely too sure why Jessica is there at all, but they got the fear, and then they got the Sickle and Chain into the box. It was a perfect double kill for World Elite.
World Elite, it seems like their team fighting potential And overall execution has been a lot smoother this time around compared to game number 1.
Jessica is sicka. I get it now.
Jessica.
Yeah, I get it now.
Jessica.
Things that you figure out late in the game. But yeah, 2-0 advantage going the way of World Elite. They're still down that tower, but they have now snuck ahead because a Dragon for a tower, more or less the same amount of gold in your pocket. And you can see Wei Zhao, he's going to go for a Trinity Force early. And really, that seems to be the standard thing you do. You know, Corki, Lucian, Ezreal, all very acceptable to get Trinity Forces. If you can get it by the 15-minute mark, you're in fine form.
Shyvana, it looks like she's... Oh, she does want to move back, trying to go for the gank. And is it going to be able to do enough damage? Looks like they're just kind of attacking each other a little bit, but no one's really dropping in health.
Well, it's the Bruiser versus Bruiser, and if you look at both their items, like they've both gone very defensive. I mean, we're going to see a Sunfire Cape come out from Cao Mei fairly soon, and you know that fire damage on top of the burnout damage, it's like you're double stacking the deck at that point. But Rengar, I mean, after you get even a little bit of damage into tanky or tanky into a little bit of damage, I mean, Rengar can definitely become a force to reckon with, but in a one-on-one like that, it's just like, you know, the stalemate of all fights. It'll take forever for somebody to actually die.
And Matt, has there ever been a game where everyone just goes only tank items?
Sure, ARAMs.
Well, actually, it looks like both of these Bruisers are getting a little bit lower on health. Just, I feel like they're attacking each other.
Yeah, they're just trading blows.
They're just trading blows, really. No one's dying. It's like Rocky 3 all over again.
Ouch. Ouch. You saw some trading in the bottom lane as well, but Wei Zhao at this point, with that one single Dorans and multiple shield mechanics that he can get out from Thresh, he should be able to just be, you know, absolutely fine. He's been last hitting like a champion as well, 106, and Gragas now sitting at 120, but man, Orianna actually outshining them both. That's cool, up to 135. We saw the Thresh try to get the Dark Passage. This could be bad for Loveland.
Gragas moving forward here, doing a lot of damage. He gets the stun off. A little bit of protection. True Shot Barrage hits, and looks like who's going to go down to the Fiddlesticks.
That True Shot Barrage basically made that kill. Like, as soon as that went down, and they noticed the damage at the top of Loveland, flash forward there from the Fiddle into the 20 Years of Fear, into another kill for Team World Elite. They're looking much stronger here this early game.
They certainly are, and as long as World Elite can keep this advantage throughout the game and extend that into the mid, into the late, OMG is going to have a really hard time against World Elite in the later stages. The gold count is still only a 2K difference, not the biggest, but every little advantage helps, and the 3-0, that's got to feel good.
Well, compare it to last game, and 15-16 minute mark, we were looking at about 8,000 to 10,000 gold difference, and then it just kind of kept
looks
going.
Like Lucian getting a little bit low on health. The damage is good on him, and a potential look, and they're gonna move forward, doing their best, trying to pick him off, and it looks like Lucian will indeed fall to the Ezreal. World Elite just starting to take a very commanding lead over this game.
Yeah, a lot of pressure from that bottom lane, but they're feeding Wei Zhao. He's 2-0-2. He's been part of all 4 kills, and he should definitely have that Trinity Force by now. It was a good cleanse from Name, but 2v1, like, Lulu wasn't there. That's not why that entire fight happened. And, again, like, these guys are just going neck and neck.
Moving in, trying to get the Renekton done. He's a little bit low on health, but he missed, and he's forced to flash away.
Going is a god. He dodged out the barrel from Gragas, the Dragon Descent from Shyvana, and then the flash from the Body Slam. Like, he should have been dead to rights.
That, under normal circumstances, that would have been such an easy kill, but he just, I guess, the skill coming out, man. Skill coming out.
But again, Rengar versus Shyvana, you can see Shyvana has herself the Sunfire Cave, and you actually have the Spirit Visage coming out from this Rengar. So the Spirit Visage is going to be slightly less useful up against Cao Mei, who is going to be doing a lot of that fire damage and physical damage. But with that Spirit Visage, like, it's going to serve her much better going into things because Gragas, Fiddlesticks, and the little bit of magic damage you're going to get from Wei Zhao as well.
All right, well, it's turning into potential 3-on-2 situation for the bottom lane.
He's thinking about that Crow Storm, but
thinking about
sometimes that clump of trees, a little bit tricky, and he can't go into the river because they do got a ward there from OMG, and that would, well, he might actually think about going to the river, but that would actually sound the retreat, and that would defeat the kill. And again, like, we could use the Dark Passage here from the Lantern, get the Crow Storm into some kind of position, and then Dark Lantern in, but instead...
OMG instead going to go ahead and attack onto World's Elite, forcing some shields, and going to have to... Actually, it just turns out to be nothing really happens.
Well, again, Dark Passage is a great initiation tool. It's also a great escape tool. So that was the culling from Lucian. We also had an Ice Ball in there on top of Clear Love. But again, that ward, plus the presence of Loveland, it just kind of defeated that entire gank. As I said, it probably would.
And also a bit of a rotate towards mid for OMG. Looks like they potentially want to push this mid tower. It's about half health. Grog is going to come in and clear out the remaining creeps, preventing that tower from getting pushed, at least for the time being.
Be dangerous.
Oh, we're getting a nice hook on Lucian. Once more, True Shot Barrage. But is it going to be enough on them? It looks like Lucian will live to snipe another day.
I think that was actually a little bit of a misplay there from Fizziv. I mean, he got off the death sentence, but after that, I think he was actually expecting the flay to land, and then the box didn't actually hit anyone. So a little bit of a misplay there, as our bruisers are still going toe-to-toe with this top lane.
They're going at it, and looks like we're seeing Renekton back away inside Shyvana for the time being. No other heroes around, so they can just hit each other all day.
Slugfest.
Slugfest. World Elite going to move in, trying to get the dragon, but will there be any contesting from OMG? They're going to move in. Can they actually do it,
Going
though?
for the smite. Doesn't get it.
Very close, and lots of action going on. Back and forth, they're seeing the Crow Storm from Fiddlesticks, but
there's the Dark Lantern going in. Clear Love still trying to get that kill on Cool, but Fizziv does go down. Name coming back in. There's the power of Rengar setting up these kills. Orianna gets another one.
Fiddlesticks going for the fear on the Renekton, at least for the time being. He's still going to press forward, and OMG, yeah, you know what? They actually were able to kill off a good amount of players.
They didn't get the dragon. They did trade out 2 for 1. But at the same time, Shyvana was also on the top. They took the tower. So the towers actually cancel out, but the dragon and the 1 kill, I'd say that Team World Elite actually still got the better of the deals.
Oh, absolutely.
In terms of the gold, because the gold is actually still sitting about 4,000 difference. And if that had gone any worse, however, OMG would have been right back in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, with OMG's composition this game, with their heroes, how are they going to move into the mid to late game stages against World Elite? Will they, you know, really have the better composition late game, or is it going to come down to that gold and the items that they get?
Well, in terms of the gold, you know, 4,000 gold still could go either way. I mean, OMG is not out of this game yet. They're on the defensive, but they're not done by any means. In terms of the items, I mean, Lucian just picked up his Trinity Force, so he's a little bit behind his counterpart Ezreal. Wei Zhao sitting at 312, 153 creeps. Definitely has more gold under his belt because we've now equaled out the global if you look at the towers, but the dragons are for World Elite at this point.
Yeah, and forcing a flash. Fiddlesticks doing his best to escape, but oh my god, Cool gets the kill on the Fiddlesticks.
That shockwave was a little kind of out there in left field, but it found a home on top of Fiddlesticks. And hey, they're going to take any kill they can at this point. So, you know, back to the items, they're not that far behind. I still think OMG has a good chance to take this with really smart play. But it is a slight advantage right now for World Elite in terms of finished items as well as the timings of them.
I have a feeling that at OMG, if they get one good team fight, they're not only back in this game, but they're ahead despite the disadvantage, because it seems that, you know, they've been kind of getting a little bit off guard. True Shot Barrage is going to miss. Once again, the bruisers just bruising each other. I feel like they show up, it's like, all right, well, we already know this has been going on for the past 10 minutes.
Yeah, Cool's going to take a blue. Who did he get the blue from? I guess he got the blue from Fiddlesticks when he took him out. So,
yeah,
you know, that's also a good point to bring up, denying the blue to Team World Elite. And again, like, these guys have some pretty immaculate buff control, but, you know, if there's no blue on Messiah to go with his Athenes, I mean, that means he's not going to be at the max cooldown. He's not going to have as much mana regeneration, whereas, you know, if Cool does have that advantage, but as I see it, I guess Messiah just picked up a fresh one. So we had 3 blue buffs, we're back down to the 2, so we're going to disregard all that. But either way, the blues are going to be equaled out. That dance up top is still just fun to watch.
It's fun. I'm like, all right, there's going to be some action. Someone's going to die. Then you look at their health bars, and they just don't go anywhere.
I mean, Rengar at this point is tanky enough to kind of repress Shyvana, and Shyvana is tanky enough to kind of clear the creep waves and still walk away pretty much unimpeded. the bottom lane tower over, not looking so healthy.
Absolutely not. And OMG, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to get a kill on that bottom tower. Actually, Lucian needs to be a bit careful. There's a lot of rotating coming in. The Lantern's being thrown out.
Fine, Loveland.
It's the Lantern.
Unfortunately, the Lantern kind of went the wrong way. Can't kind of bring anyone into it, but it's a great scouting tool when you need to. They also know that there's a pink ward there in that bush, and a little bit of a rotation up to mid. Could be a potential team fight coming up.
Yeah, everyone's rotating mid, and uh-oh.
He's going to cross over.
Here he goes, and the initiation's looking pretty darn good. Look at that Gragas absolutely destroy Orianna. In addition to that, more World Elite is running away, starting the fall. Renekton's still good on health, but I mean, he's just bruising it up. He can't really take out all of the World Elite on his own, and we're just seeing the advantage continue to go on for Rengar.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, Rengar, he kind of out of position there, but that was an excellent gank set up by World Elite. They used their vision to get that Crow Storm, to get that Gragas over there, and you know, Gragas with that explosive casket meant that Orianna couldn't go anywhere.
Uh-oh, we're gonna have once again another team fight at Baron, but I don't even know if it's going to matter. World Elite doing an excellent job at continuing the DPS down Baron and dealing with everything that OMG is trying to do against them. It's just, does World Elite, I think they have enough to survive overall. Their health's looking, it's kind of getting low here, and actually, Lucian, he could end up getting a few kills, but forced to retreat, at least for the time being, and Baron goes down to World Elite. They're looking in fine prime form this game. Another kill goes down on OMG Jessica,
yeah, he's gone.
and Lucian, yeah, he's gonna die as well. Wow.
That was a veritable delayed ace. Here comes Cool, here comes Loveland. Actually, Cool's going to try to get Wei Zhao. He misses the shockwave, and now Wei Zhao is totally outplaying him. Unfortunately, the cooldowns is just going to be enough for Cool to take the kill, but still, they got the Baron. They got 5 kills, and all they dropped was Ezreal at a very, very much delayed rate, and like World Elite, they are in strong form to take game number 2.
Very, very strong form. It's like, the thing is, OMG in game number 1, yeah, they gave up the first split, but after that, all the team fights kept going their way. In game number 2, World Elite, they're getting the team fights, they're getting towers, they've gotten Dragon, they got Baron, of all guys.
20-minute Baron.
20-minute Baron.
21. I mean, 10-4, they have 6,000 gold now. So, you know, if you've been listening to the gold, you know, it's gone up, slightly down, up, slightly down, up. It just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
That means that, you know, World Elite, they're very much controlling this game. You're getting a lot more kills, and they're setting up some amazing ganks on top of OMG.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't really seen a 5-on-5 yet. Like, somebody usually just dies right off from the beginning, and that just kind of sets the pace for the rest of the fight.
Looks like Dragon's live once more, and the teams for the time being focusing around the mid area and also top as well. Looks
Yame
like
has a thorn now. So not only is she going to chase you down with fire damage, but if you attack her back, you're going to get reflected, just like thorns in World of Warcraft. And it's just like, okay, well, this sucks. And you can't do anything against him. Like, Travanna's had such a high win rate this tournament for exactly these reasons.
All right, well, ooh, I'm missing the hook on Thresh. Wanted to try to get something done. Really, World Elite, they can just continue being aggressive, pushing forward through this mid lane. And do you think they're going to try to take this tower, Forecourt Jester? No?
Right now, I suspect not. I mean, Rengar is up top, so they will have the numbers advantage. They also have that Baron, but it really comes down to the cooldowns. If I look at the cooldowns, it is going to be clear love going in, but not entirely too sure what he was aiming at.
Yeah, that Crow Storm didn't really scare anyone, I suppose.
I was expecting better positioning before the engage, but I mean, now without a Crow Storm, the only good news out of that is they got the Shockwave out of Orianna, so
yeah.
Really it was an ult for an ult. Nobody actually went home or injured at all.
Nobody died, but the tower actually, we are starting to see a Team World Elite trying to push. He doesn't care.
Just tanking it.
He doesn't care. He's just sitting there. OMG trying to do their best to deal the damage they can. Some damage coming out from Lucian, but the tower, it's just going to fall. There's no, you can't really contest that as OMG.
Well, I was looking for the better positioning to see the fight, but I mean, hey, that works too. Orianna didn't have the Shockwave, so they knew that they could clump up as much as they wanted. There's nobody else really to take advantage of that at this point, and if they get the blue buff, they're going to go get the Dragon. So overall, like, extremely beneficial trade back to WE, and you know, that's going to put them at 40 grand, which is about 8,000 gold difference.
Yeah, and the gold difference is starting to get very significant now. If it continues this way, I mean, OMG, their team fight presence is not looking anywhere near as good as game number 1, and they haven't actually won a team fight yet at all. They kind of did okay. They got a kill here and there, but World Elite has been just absolutely in a commanding, dominating performance.
That's very
this game.
different from game number 1.
It's
almost like they
reversed.
It's like they swapped seats and they didn't swap the overlay. It's almost what it feels like at this point.
Yeah,
but
indeed.
Slow and steady gold gain is, it is starting to get fairly significant again. Like in and around the 10,000 mark, you can almost pretty much say with certainty that the game's going to go one way or another. This could be dangerous from Messiah, but we are going to get down that ward from Fiziv, and no possible gank there. But Messiah's just going to pick up the blue. He has the Rabadons. He has the Void Staffs. He's doing massive amounts of damage, and this is actually something that Papa Smithy brought up with me, but Clearlove on his jungle Fiddlesticks always picks up a Banshee's feel.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Tankiness. I mean, it's just like when you're going to be a support Fiddle or support Annie or basically anything support, you got to get a bit more tankier. And our jungles go a bit more tankier as well, a bit more durable. Fiddlesticks by himself is classified as a mage. I mean, he does a lot of damage. He has some health drain, sure, but if you interrupt it, I mean, that's pretty much his survivability out the window. So if you go a bit more tanky, you actually do much better. And Clearlove with a Banshee's Veil means that when he goes in for the Crow Storm, or if he's charging up the Crow Storm, he can safely negate one interrupt. And that could be the difference between landing it and missing it.
Exactly. Okay, well, World Elite, they're starting to apply pressure on the bottom tower. And they did get mid recently, so bottom looks like to be their next potential target. And OMG, are they going to be able to actually contest it this time? They have their entire squad in the bottom end. It's looking like, missed hook from Thresh, very close.
We do have all the cooldowns ready to go, so if we can get one engage from either team, it's going to just spark this powder keg.
OMG, they would love the fight on the tower if possible. Given the defender's advantage, they need every advantage they can get in the fight because they really are fighting from behind.
They're fighting from extremely behind, but you see Wei Zhao there, just very confident there in the middle. I mean, he has one job, show up and blow up. And right now, he is sitting at 4-2 and 5. He has most kills there for his team, and we're just still looking for this engage potential. This is a little bit of a stalemate dance around the tower, but you also see that the tower is starting to get chipped away. Yeah. So OMG is still losing ground, even though they're not really moving that far from the tower.
Yeah, and World Elite, they kind of did this as well for the mid tower. It didn't look initially like they were going to push it, but they kind of just stuck around long enough, and eventually
after everyone lost the gold, they just went.
Yeah. All right, well, they're moving in. It decides they don't care about the tower. Going to try to get it low on health, and holy crap, damage everywhere. And that Rengar is absolutely enormous at this point, getting feared for the time being, and it's just not looking too good for OMG as most of their heroes are getting picked off. And Shyvana doing her best, getting a bit low on health as well, but down just to the Rengar. He's getting low on health, and ace from the Ezreal. The tower will fall as well, and it's looking like that could actually just be the end.
What happened there is OMG went hard on top of Wei Zhao, on top of Ezreal. They threw everything they had at him, forced out his flash, forced out his berry. You can see those summoners down, but what happened in reverse? Cao Mei getting into the back, double kill on top of these squishy OMG characters, and then Gragas following that up with all the damage he needs because Wei Zhao lived, Rengar way out of position, and the veritable ace coming out. The tower, the inhibitor, and that is very likely going to be the end of the game this next push because 15-4, over 10,000 gold difference. Like that powder cake, when it lit, it exploded with fervor, but this Cao Mei, this Shyvana, there is a great reason why Shyvana was banned and has been played 100% near flawless victories here in this WCG 2013.
Indeed. Well, World Elite, they've probably only need to do one push, like you mentioned, for Court Jester. And OMG, I mean, they got to try something desperate now. Baron is live if they want to try to go something crazy like that, but I mean...
A desperation Baron is always in the cards. It's either going to work or you're going to lose, but if you don't do it, you're going to lose. So you really have nothing to lose but the loss itself.
I suppose so. You want to look at
a roundabout way to say it, but
very roundabout. Actually, World Elite are starting to move towards the Baron. They don't even want to give OMG the chance as they start to do a little bit of dewarding, throwing out the Lantern as well.
Loveland.
And actually, oh, nice hook as well. And we're going to most likely see Loveland fall down. There he goes. And the rest of OMG is just getting absolutely obliterated. Shyvana all over the place.
Messiah's going to go chase down that Lulu in the back, but 5-on-4, there it is. Messiah going unstoppable. Again, Cal May, Shyvana just went right past Lovely, chased away the rest of the team, left the poor Yeti to his own demise, and now it's just going to, this is the final nail in the coffin. Like, they're going to say, no Desperation Baron for you. We're going to take it. There's likely nothing OMG can do about it, but they're going to give it their best shot.
Yeah. Oh, they kind of did give it their best shot. Overall, they're doing their best. This is the one possible chance, but Baron already getting quite low on health, moving forward in there, but, you know, Rengar, he's already getting very low, and it looks like he will indeed fall. And as he falls, Baron falls as well.
There he goes. World Elite going to pick up the Baron. Messiah, however, and crew, a little bit low on hit points, not too sure they could.
Oh!
What was that?
What the?
What was that?
I just saw a random Gragas die.
Had to have been Ignite. Had to have been Ignite, yeah. I didn't even see Ignite. Had to have been Ignite, but there. So fine, we take out Messiah. A little bit of energy now going back into OMG, but at the same time, like, they have to make something happen with these numbers. Otherwise, again, their base is getting absolutely ravaged by these super creeps.
Yeah, I mean, the super creeps doing a ridiculous amount of damage to the top lane, and we're seeing OMG rotate. They're actually going to go for Dragon. This is a little bit risky because we do have some of World Elite moving in. We do have the ward down. They see the Dragon's trying to go down. Do you think he's going to try to actually steal the Dragon? No.
Too little, too late. But still, I mean, giving a Dragon to OMG at this point, it's still 13,000 gold difference. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket in terms of what you need to survive through this game. And at their 31-minute mark, like, looking at the items going back and forth, it's a very clear advantage going the way of World Elite. Like 5-2 and 10 on Ezreal, 5-1 and 8 on Messiah. And Messiah's going for Azonias on top of things. It's like he's going to get harder to kill going into this next set of fights. But it's, I mean, the noose is slowly being drawn across the neck here of OMG. And it does look like, I can almost say 100% certainty, we're going to have a game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't, I wouldn't even know what to say at this point. And actually, we're seeing OMG trying to get a little bit of aggressive on the Shyvana, but we do have a little bit of reinforcements from Thresh. For the time being, Fiddlesticks also joining in for the fun. I feel like this is the last stand for OMG. If they fall here, that's just going to be it.
We need to get a 5-on-5 going. I mean, so many resources in the last fight went into defeating Wei Zhao.
Indeed.
But, I mean, it didn't work. So what do you do this round? Like, OMG, they have to get a pick if they want to fight. Otherwise, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm not sure they're actually capable of getting a pick because of the difference in items and positioning. Like, these guys, you see World Elite in the top. They're happy to play this dance because the bottom inhibitor is still, like, those super creeps are just going to start ravaging your base.
It's like a free split push, essentially.
That's exactly right.
All right, here we go. This is going to be the potential final team fight. OMG Jessica getting absolutely ravaged by the Shyvana. And OMG, they still, I mean, Ezreal's maybe was at about half health, already regenerating most of it.
Later the Rune King does wonders for your, health regeneration. But that was a great explosive cast from Messiah. Got Jessica out of position again. Needed that 5-on-5, and they're not going to get it.
Bro Storm coming forward from Fiddlesticks. He actually is getting a little bit low on health. Forced to use the flash. The tower will indeed fall, and we're seeing a lot of low health. OMG doing their best to survive. Actually, Shyvana very low on health as well. Going to slowly run away, and the inhibitor falls regardless. It's just... It doesn't seem to really matter. OMG, they're doing their best to hold on, but it's only a matter of time, and Ezreal, a little bit of more split pushing, picks off the tower.
If they can get the trifecta of inhibitors, I mean, it's extremely hard to just not, let alone defend your base, let alone push out and do more team fights. But 2 inhibitors down. The first one should be coming up relatively soon, however. It has been quite a bit of time that has passed. Here's the gold differences between them, and that top lane is basically the star of the show right now. Look at the difference. 8,900 to 13.3.
Oh, looks like Cool's moving forward, forcing the flash, but actually Xiao gets out.
A little bit sloppy there from Ezreal, but did lose out that Baron. Baron is not going to last too much longer anyway, so that's hardly a loss. But, I mean, at this point, we need that to happen before team fights, not after.
Exactly.
I mean, OMGs can't deal on a 5-on-5. And even with their towers, becoming like a 6th member of their team, they still can't really deal with a 5-man squad coming out from World Elite. So if they could have done that before, it would have been much better. But they do got this little bit of window where they can do a little bit of pushing. It looks like they're going to try to pick off Messiah.
If they can actually get Messiah, that'd be great considering Ezreal's already picked off for the time being. They're pinging towards the jungle. This would be the opportune time for OMG to go for the fight. The miss on the hook. Lantern moving out as well, doing a bit of scouting information. And Worldly playing it a little bit safe just to make sure, you know.
The window's closed.
Yeah.
OMG, yes.
They're closing the window, man. It's getting cold outside.
Yeah, that aggression that they needed to do just didn't happen. It's 10 turrets to 4, multiple dragons going the way of World Elite, and I think, one going to OMG. Yeah. But the goal difference is still sitting at 13,000 between them. And Wei Xiao just threw out that True Shot barrage looking for the red buff. Didn't find it, but it's okay. Lucian's going to rotate here to the mid. And OMG, I mean, they are 5 right now. We don't have to deal with the True Shot barrage from Ezreal. So if they can make something happen before Ezreal joins the fight, I just don't think they can.
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal's already basically joining his allies in the middle lane. And once they get that inhibitor down, it seems like it's going to go down almost uncontested. OMG, they need to make something happen now, but it just doesn't seem like they have enough, a bit of a fear on the Shyvana or Silence. And actually, there we go. This is going to be the last potential team fight of the game. And Rengar absolutely huge, trying to do the damage that he can. Actually, Shyvana forced the move back for the time being, but the turret falls.
The inhibitor falls. The inhibitor fell. The bottom one had already respawned as well, but it is naked at this point. There's no real defense. OMG actually held really well right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was surprising.
They didn't clump up. They didn't get caught by any of the ultimates. Cal May went in with the Dragon's Descent, didn't get anything. Explosive Cast didn't really do much either. And we had the box go up from Physis. So the only thing left is Clearlove's Crow Storm. So OMG actually does have a little bit of a chance to bring this back, at least for now. And they're just going to try their best to defend this turret.
Shyvana is going to have to actually back up, getting a little bit overconfident. And we do have the Lantern pulling him back to Thresh. Very nice defense.
And that's a good play right there with the Dark
Oh,
Passage.
actually, the Fiddlesticks very low on LV gets picked off by the Lucian. And are we potentially seeing a comeback? A lot of damage is being done.
True Shot doesn't land. Fizzif with the Dark Passage. Absolute Zero goes out. Messiah deletes Lucian. How could you, Messiah? That was so much damage. He's now emboldened the flash forward with the body slam. Here comes the next Dragon Descent. Cal May returns the damage, goes for Jessica, gets whimsied though. The shield from Dark Passage. Oh my god, Fizzif. MVP
oh my god.
Right there.
Very low on health, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Wait,
GG!
That's
it!
Oh my god, he does an X